I still remember the loss at Old Trafford against Everton earlier this season, like it happened yesterday. First 15 to 20 minutes of the game, Everton gets a red card, and I'm like, okay, this is free 3 points, this is free soup. We should go on and win this. And guess what? Next few minutes, we go on to concede 1-0. I'm like, okay, we can come back. Still early. Full time, 1-0. Everton has a red card, and we're playing at Old Trafford. Well, we play Everton on Monday for the return leg, but now we play at their stadium. Their new stadium. Remember, they moved out of Goodison Park, so this is going to be our first time going to that stadium. Going away to Everton is never easy. If anybody tells you that it is easy, they are lying. It is never easy, regardless of who the manager is. And to make it worse, their manager is David Moyes. We know how he plays. He's gonna make it difficult for us. He's gonna have us struggle. If we have to win that game, we're gonna have to give everything. And Michael Carrick was even asked about it, and this is what he said. He said, listen, there's a lot that goes into a game. David Moyes teams are hard to play against. I think it is one where we've had a lot of time to kind of to look forward to it. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot. I think it's going away to Everton and then trying to be our best way we can, I think we've got things to improve on, but we've got a good base and a good foundation. Moving forward, good spirit, so we have to draw on pretty much all of that on Monday night. So that's what he said. Basically, he's just admitting to the fact that playing against David Moyes' team is very difficult. It's very defensive, low block. I mean, they do open up, express themselves as well, but when they counter like a team they know that is superior to them, they're going to make it difficult for you. Break them down if you can. If you can't, you're going to either leave with nothing, or you leave with maybe 1 point, or they get all three. So it is going to be a tough task. Like I said, we're going to their new stadium, and this is our first time playing there. One thing we need to understand is we are in a very crucial period when it comes to the league. When it comes to football, we are in a crucial period. We always say that the league begins in January, right? And this is exactly why we say the league begins in January, because in January, you have teams fighting to get out of the relegation zone. You have teams fighting for Europe, right? Conference League, Europa League, Champions League, top four. You have teams fighting for the league. So everybody knows where they stand, and everybody knows what they are aiming to achieve. And Everton is one of those teams that are currently fighting for Europe this season. I think they currently sit 8, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 7. They sit somewhere around that, and they want to keep themselves in and around that position so they can get Champions League football. So we're going to be going up against a team that has something to fight for. So it's not going to be an easy game. I don't care what anybody says. We can talk about Michael Carrick has come in. The team is playing better. We all understand that, but Everton as well, they are playing better. They are getting some points. They've been a threat this season. So it's gonna be a tough task to go there and get all 3 points. But we have to get all 3 points, because we're also fighting for Europe. We want to keep ourselves in the top 4. We're currently 4th. And if we want to stay 4th, we have to win that game, because Chelsea also is playing. Chelsea is playing against Burnley. Chelsea is playing against Burnley, and they want to stay. They want to get themselves in the top 4, which is the 4th position, which is the position we have, and we're 1 point ahead of them. So in order for us to maintain that position, it's important that we win our game. That is, if we can even go into that game in that same spot, because I think Chelsea will win their game on Saturday, and they will get themselves in the 4th position. So we would have to reclaim that position back, and in order for us to do that, we have to just win our game. We have to win our game. And like I said, the January transfer window just passed. I don't know if Everton did any transfer business, but like I said, we talk about like January being when the league starts, because teams go out, they know what they need, they know where they stand, they know what they need to improve on. They know how their team is playing. So they do go out and reinforce themselves. We haven't brought in any players. We should have, maybe midfield or something like that. We should have. But I don't know if Everton has brought in any players as well. But teams are now starting to click. It is now starting to click for many teams. So it's going to be tough. And one more thing I need to say is that this game, right, it shouldn't be one of those games where we go into the game and we are like, okay, let's not open up ourselves early on. We need to go there and play. We need to go there and play. We made that mistake against West Ham in the last game, which I believe we could have had all 3 points. But it felt like that game, it felt like we were scared to play. We were scared to open up early on. We were scared that West Ham might hit us on a counter or something, you know. It's like we were just trying to be conservative, especially during the first half. It's like nothing happened. The game was very dull. It was very like quiet, not much clear-cut chances created during the first half. And then we go into the second half, few minutes in, West Ham get the goal and they go up. And credit to the players for fighting back to get a point in the last minute of the game, but we almost lost that game because we tried to be to play safe. We tried to play safe, which isn't what we did in the past 4 games. So if we're gonna get something, it is important that we play from the first minute. We play from the first minute, attack, because that's Manchester United. And we all know we struggle against low blocks. It's quite simple. We could see it against West Ham. We struggle against low block a lot. So these players would have to step up. We're gonna need, you know, some magic, some creativity. Bruno, Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha. We're gonna need them to step up. We're gonna need them to create those chances, to penetrate the Everton defense, to penetrate that David Moyes defense. And I think we can. I think we can do it. So it's going to be an electrifying game. And also, like Michael Carrick said, you know, we've had a lot of time to kind of look forward to the game. We've not played for 13 days. That should be a lot of time for the players to rest, the managers to look at how Everton play, and the managers to assess how we can approach the game and how we can win that game. So it's been a lot of time. The players have gotten a lot of rest. You see the likes of Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro. They were in Dubai together. They went to Dubai for, you know, some little time off. They did some training as well, which is good because we all know they are the future of that defense. They are the future of that defense. And it's not only bonding on the pitch. Bonding off the pitch is also important. So that was kind of like their own bonding off the pitch. The players are in good spirit, Carrick said, and you could see it. You could see it, like some of the videos that have been posted on our Manchester United official page. The one where everyone is playing Champions League and our players are frying pancakes. That was quite funny. I saw a post where someone said, "Why is Manchester United players frying pancakes while other teams are playing Champions League football?" You know, it's where we find ourselves. Finishing 15 last season didn't help us, but yeah, that was quite funny. But that little time off was important. You know, the players spent time with their families. Some took some rest, recovered. It's gonna help. It is gonna help. But now, the next question is the fact that we've had this much time off with no football. Does it affect us? I hope it doesn't. I hope it does help. But in some other way, it could affect the players. You know, going for a while with no football, it kind of takes away the rhythm, some of the momentum and stuff like that. I hope it doesn't. I don't think it should. But we will find out on Monday. And one thing I'm going to talk about is the lineup, right? How do we approach this game? Because when you look back at the West Ham game, we went with the same lineup that we had in the previous game. I don't think it worked because I think Cunha was kind of lost in that game. Cunha is the type of player that needs to, you know, he drops back, he picks up the ball, he drives forward, he dribbles through players. But West Ham were so compact. They didn't have the ball. They let us have the ball. They were so compact. So Cunha was not at his best, and he's not that type of winger that can beat players one-on-one, you know. He's not that type of winger that can beat players one-on-one. You can get a moment of magic from him, but I think he needs space for that, and there was not just that space. It was a game where you could clearly see that, okay, maybe Sesko was definitely needed in that game. He was needed in that game earlier on than he came on. I think if he came on like 15 minutes earlier, we probably would have gotten all 3 points from that game. We left it very late to bring him on. So now the question is, does Sesko maintain his position? He's had 2 games where he's come in. He's rescued 3 points for us against Fulham. He's rescued a point for us against West Ham. Does he maintain the position, or do we still stick with Cunha in this game? That's a question that we need to ask. For me, I would say maybe do the same thing, because, you know, they've been playing together. Do the same thing, play Cunha, but Carrick needs to be ready to make changes if it's not going well. He needs to be ready to go. If it's the same thing against West Ham where we cannot break a team down and they end up sitting in a low block, we need to put in crosses. I think Sesko needs to come in early on, because if we put in some crosses, he can get on the end of it. He can bully those defenders. Mbeumo was lost. Cunha was lost in that number 9. They were all over them. So if Sesko comes in, he can bully those defenders. He can keep them on their toes. We can have a threat in the box instead of having an empty box. So for me, I would go with the same lineup, but be ready to make changes. And for my score prediction for this game, I'm going to be going with a 2-1 win for Manchester United. I don't think we keep a clean sheet. I hope we can, but going away to Everton with them wanting to play Champions League football, I think they get something out of the game. And by the way, Arsenal just lost. They bottled it again. It's now a 5-point gap, with Manchester City having the game in hand and Manchester City having to play Arsenal. You know what that means. The least mistake, Manchester City is going to get ahead of them. But yeah, that is my own thoughts going into the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And please remember to subscribe, especially if this is your first time here and you still haven't subscribed. Please subscribe to the video, like it, and share.